I think the boudoir photography community believes that they are making an impact, and there is an impact to be made. If you're not careful, it can be a negative impact. But I think once you know this, it's like, dude, this is life changing for the students who take it and for the clients that we interact with. And so I never want to like minimize the change that's being affected that boudoir photographers are doing, but I do want them to know that there's so much more to it than what you know.
You're about to learn what it takes to live free of fear, to finally feel confident in your work, and to step into your true authenticity as an artist. Get ready, because this is where we learn to stand out, to say yes to creating the work that we so deeply desire. Welcome. I'm Denise Birdsong, and I teach photographers and artists how to finally make their mark.
Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday, right, Betsy? It's Wednesday. Happy
I
Wednesday.
believe so. Yeah.
Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome back to Strip Down. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Today I have so many students that I love with all of my heart. Hey, Missy. Hey, Betsy. There's so many of them. And in Strip Down, we get so incredibly connected and so attached to each other. We become like a family and a tribe. And so what I want to start doing on a more regular basis is I want to start featuring my students because their transformations are bananas and I love seeing it. I also love spending the time hanging out with them. I've been on with them for like 15 minutes before we hit the go live button. We've just been like chatting it up, and it's so good because I've missed you guys so much.
We miss you.
Too.
Yeah, and I also want them to be able to share with you like advice because they're a wealth of knowledge and information as well. So I want to grow this community so that we're all helping each other as much as we can. That I'm celebrating like the amazing artists that I've been so blessed to work with, and put the spotlight on them because they're a bunch of badasses. And I want you guys to get to know them so that this becomes like a really strong community. So Denise is doing the Denise thing and rambling because she's like super excited about doing this. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to stop with my rambling now, and I'm going to actually introduce you to two of my amazing peers, two of my amazing colleagues, two of my amazing students, but more importantly, to two women who I really love and I really admire and I really respect, and I am very grateful to call my friends. So with that, oh, the audio is really bad. Thank you for letting us know that. I apologize for that. Hopefully you can hear us okay. But yeah, we did know we were struggling with audio, so bear with us, guys. If you have questions and you're not hearing anything or you're having trouble hearing some of these things, we will go back into this live and I will answer questions in the chat. So hopefully that is going to do it. Sorry about the echoes. We apologize. Okay, so sorry, that threw me off. Totally squirrel moment there. So we're going to start with Missy. So Missy, if you could give us your name and to let us know where you're from and the name of your business, if you could start with that, that would be great.
Awesome. I'm Melissa Adams, or Missy Adams, as most people call me. And I live in Jasper, Indiana. My studio is based there. I do travel a little bit, but mainly I shoot in Jasper, Indiana. It's a little tiny town. Yeah, it's kind of cornfields and one stoplight. No, we got 2 McDonald's, so I feel pretty good about that now. But yeah, really just kind of a tiny little area.
Well, thank you for being here, Missy. I appreciate that, and I'm sure everyone else does as well. And then I want to introduce you guys to our second guest. So Betsy, if you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Betsy McCue Gibson. My studio is Betsy McCue Pictures. That was established before I got married, so there you go. And we all know what it's like to go through a rebranding, right? I'm based in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And before that, I was in San Diego for 15 years with my studio, and that's where I am right now. Came back for some sessions this week, but so I travel a bit too.
Yeah, I wish your studio was in San Francisco, so you were back here with me.
I know. I thought the same thing when we started chatting this week, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. I know everybody thinks California, right? Like, well, you're in California, you see each other. We're like really in two different states. We're so far apart. Thank goodness.
I know. It's so much land to cover. Oh, how funny. Somebody just popped in and said, hey, I'm originally from Battle Creek.
Oh, rad.
You're like half an hour from where I am in Kalamazoo.
Yeah. And guys, I want to apologize. We can't see in here. We can't see your names. But we'll see you after the fact when we go in. But hey, to all y'all who are saying hi to us, we're happy that you guys are here with us. So Betsy, since I have you on right now, I want to ask you a couple of questions. So I prepared some questions that I want to ask you, if you don't mind. So first, I want to ask you, how did you feel about your work before Strip Down? Were you happy with your work? Did you feel like you were struggling? Did you feel confident with your work? Just kind of where were you in regards to your work before taking Strip Down?
Oh, yeah. It's funny because I felt like when I had a friend who was a previous student, Marie, and of Strip Down. And she told me about it. And I was like, well, this sounds intriguing. I feel like it might be a missing piece to my work because I'd been looking for something that was going to give me more comfort, make it easier for myself and my clients. I feel like I was able to elicit some, emotional reaction in my photos with my clients, but it was very taxing for me. Like, I think even though I'm like super ENFP and outgoing and like, I'm a connector with people and everything, I thought I was okay, but I just knew that it was coming at a great price. And I figured if it was hard for me, it was probably hard for my clients too.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I feel like I just went with the gut on it. Like, I was like, I feel like this might be what I need to make this more consistent and more just like easier and less stressful for me and my people that I'm photographing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And remind me again how many years you'd been shooting prior to starting Strip Down?
Oh, yeah. So I've been a photographer for 15 years, but I just started doing boudoir the last couple of years.
Okay.
And I've only shot, I think when I started Strip Down, I'd only shot like maybe a total of 20 sessions of boudoir specifically.
Okay. So not a veteran in the trenches, but certainly not new to photography by any stretch of the imagination.
Right. Yeah, no. I've done a lot of weddings and a lot of family work and everything.
Okay. Okay, cool. So then the next question I want to ask you, you felt like there was something missing, and that's what drew you to Strip Down. When you got into Strip Down, did you feel like, okay, this is the question. This is the answer to that big question mark that's been hanging out there. And how was your experience like going through it? Because I know everybody has a little bit of a different experience, but I also think everybody's a little bit nervous coming into it, regardless of where they are in their journey. And also, I think everybody experiences a little bit differently. So I'm wondering, where were you? Like, if you could talk to other students, like, where were you when you were coming in, and did it help erase some of that question mark?
Oh, definitely. I think once I got into it, I am a very, very enthusiastic student and I love to learn. And then I think like you're such an incredible teacher and you teach so deeply from the heart. And I think I'm going to get emotional. Why do I get emotional every time I'm on video with you, Denise?
I'm sorry.
I'm getting all clumped about it. But, I felt like I thought I was doing all right. You know what I mean? Like I thought, because I do connect with my clients. I always have. And I was like, I'm cool. But this started to go next level. And I think like, you brought so much heart into it that what I went through with Stripped Down was like, it impacted me as a human being and an artist. And I think, I was going in and watching your videos over and over and over again. And I was like acting like you were coaching me and I was a client in a session. And like, I had my client yesterday was like, "You're so good at that." And I was like, "Well, I practice." And I told her what I do. I'm like, "Hey, I went through this amazing education program and it's made me so much better at my job. And I can just serve my clients so much more deeply and so much more in such a meaningful way that they're coming back to me and they're seeing things about themselves that they've never seen."
Yeah.
And
I
it's so
think
powerful.
I think one of the things that's really amazing about Strip Down is that a lot of times we kind of get in a rut with our work, right? And we talked about this earlier. It gets taxing, right? Like trying to give to them, like it gets taxing, and we fall into that same routine, and it's just like, we kind of just get burnt out, right? And the methodology that I teach takes a little bit more work. It's a little bit more intensive than what we're doing because we're taking, a genre that's kind of like I don't mean to degrade the genre. That's not what my intention. I'm just being open and honest, and you guys, that's what I always am. So if I step in it, I step in it. Sorry. We're taking a genre that is kind of like a hobby, and there's not a lot of education around it about the importance of what it is we're doing for our clients or making it a high art, which it actually is. It is probably, of all of the genres within portraiture, this is probably the most high art because we're dealing with like the most delicate parts of the humans that we work with. And so I actually want to like revolutionize the entire genre and turn it into this high art for every single photographer who shoots it because every single client deserves it. But so does every single photographer. So that taxing feeling of like being burnt out on the same old is like knowing that you're not really getting there. And when you use the methodology, is it a little bit more? It is. But when you're done, you're just like, I've done the right thing. Like, I've done an amazing thing. I'm an amazing artist. Like, you're so proud of the work that you've created, and you're so happy with the connection that you've established, and you're so delighted with the way that you've actually changed the way your client feels about themselves, that it is a little bit more work, but in the end, it ends up not being more work because you're so much more energized, if that makes sense.
I 100% agree with that. You should have seen me yesterday. I was like climbing on top. Wait, am I allowed to curse here or not?
Oh, yeah.
I figured we were cool because,
Yeah.
yes. But I was like climbing on top of shit. And I actually said, I'm like, "You're going to love this, but let's get weird." Denise.
The weird shit.
Oh my gosh. I actually wanted to like share that picture with you this morning, and I'll have to send it to you later because I was just like, I would have never gotten this like a year ago, Like
Yeah.
my brain, you unlocked a certain part of my brain that has just taken my work next level. I get so excited to walk into a shoot, and I'm not running through see, I'm still crying.
I love you, Betsy.
I love you too so much. But I walk into a shoot just so excited to see what we can create together. It's and I feel like I'm so much more of an artist, like a well-developed artist. I'm comfortable introducing myself as an artist, which has always been a struggle for me. But I walk into a shoot and I'm like, what are we going to create today? And I'm not running through a shot list necessarily in my head. I'm like, okay, like that stuff's now kind of a little bit in the subtext, right? Because I've been
Yeah.
because I've watched your videos like a million times, and we got to do that in-person work that really cemented it for me.
Yeah.
And so I just walk in it's like curiosity. It's like, okay. And I have clients coming to me now. They're like, they're telling me up front, I want to see my vulnerability. I'm like, who would have said that to me a year ago? Like, they're saying, they're like, I see inside people's souls in your photos. Like, I want that. I know, right? I feel the same way every time. It never gets old. It never gets old. And it's not an ego thing either. It's just like when I have people saying to me, like, you are changing women's lives, like people's lives. I shouldn't say just women, but it's people's lives, right? And it's because what we're being able to show people themselves and they feel seen, you know?
So, sorry.
I didn't grab my tissue.
And that's exactly why I'm here. That is exactly why I'm here and exactly the reason that I do what I do. And I know that as boudoir photographers, and Missy, feel free to chime in on this. I know that we all believe, and in some way we are, because I don't want to minimize what we did before Strip Down. We were making an impact, but it's not the same. It's not the same kind of impact that we're able to make with the methodology now. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's like Diet Coke and Coke from Mexico that has like real sugar in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
It's not corn syrup Coke. It's like Coke with like it's even more than that. I mean, it's just, that's the first analogy I could think of, not the best, but like, I think the boudoir photography community believes that they are making an impact, and there is an impact to be made. If you're not careful, it can be a negative impact. But I think once you know this, it's like, dude, this is life-changing for the students who take it and for the clients that we interact with. And so I never want to like minimize the change that's being affected that boudoir photographers are doing. But I do want them to know that there's so much more to it than what you know. Would you guys agree with this?
Oh, definitely. So next level.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Missy?
Is like, as you know personally, so I shared with you guys, like everyone else did, the first day that we were in person, about, and I shared it online too, about my past trauma with sexual assault and how much my body was just kind of restricted from kind of accepting like touch and feeling and just being a more sexual person. And I don't struggle with vulnerability. I'm open with people about it. Since I've opened that kind of basket jar, whatever, and said that out loud, I've been more vocal about it and why I do what I do as a boudoir photographer. But it still held me back. And I remember the first day we were in class and I just felt very uncomfortable with desire and pleasure and being able to work through those emotions and showcase those. And you were helping us, and I was just like, oh my gosh, we're doing the thing and it's here and and it was just so powerful that I broke down, and you gave me the space to allow me to recover. And it was just such a freeing feeling to feel those emotions, and now to be able to project that onto my clients and allow them to feel those emotions too. It's so much stronger, and it creates stronger work that ties to them. That's more important, especially as someone that is a survivor trying to help other survivors. If I can't get in the headspace of what they want to create together, then I don't understand how this is so beneficial to just break down those barriers and overcome all that and just create things, from, like you said, from your soul. So, that I completely agree. It just became so monotonous before Strip Down, where it was just like, okay, chest shot, okay, butt shot, okay, she likes her lip shot. And it was just so rigid. I don't know, just very cut and dry, very monotonous, there is no
cookie cutter.
Yeah. And I attach with my clients. Great. I love my clients. I love connecting with them. Connection is actually it's my fifth strength, if you want to talk about that. But empathy and communication and woo, those are all things that I have as a strength. So it's never been a struggle for me to connect with my clients, but it's definitely been a struggle for me to translate that to them in camera and help capture that. And then for them to have that emotional connection, for them to take home and cherish for years, is huge. I mean, I always go to funerals, and when I see people's funerals, and they just have like pictures of people at family gatherings just eating, or pictures where they're just like a car headshot. I'm just like, I want to know who you were. Like, I want to see you. And if you've never been seen and you've never been heard and represented and felt and respected, then what are we doing? What are we doing for our clients?
I love that.
That's my big question. What the fuck are we doing? For those of you who don't know me, sorry, I have a potty mouth. It doesn't slip all the time, but when I get passionate about something, it comes out. Really, what are we doing as an industry and a genre if we're not doing that? Like, so many of our clients have so many issues. I think the majority of us who are in this came to boudoir photography because we're working something out ourselves. Like, if we're going to just be real about it, there's something that we want to give back to people because we're dealing with something. And if we don't learn how to get vulnerable and collaborate with our clients, we're not doing shit. We're just not. If we're not working with precision and intention, if we don't understand body language, if we don't understand how to create those safe spaces and create those connections, and if we don't understand this one thing, and you guys let me know because for me, this is probably one of the most pivotal things. If we don't understand that our clients come to us with a preconceived notion of who they are, and every single time they look in the mirror, they show themselves who they are. I'm going to do mine. Missy, you're going to do yours. Betsy, you're going to do yours. Mine is this. Mine is, because I have to be strong, because I grew up in an environment where I wasn't safe. Everything was out of control, and I need to be strong. I never walk by a mirror and go, I've never done that once in my entire life. Never. You put Stephanie Wells in front of a mirror, and that's all she does. She's like, oh, hair flip here. All the that's how Stephanie sees herself, right? I am like that. That is inside of me. That is part of who I am. I'm not just this little girl who feels like she needs to be strong all the time. There are so many other beautiful facets to my personality and to who I am. And it's not just my physical being. God, if it was just my physical being, I would be in a lot of trouble. The thing that makes me beautiful are all of the things inside of me. But if somebody doesn't capture those and show them to me, if someone doesn't lead me down that pathway where I'm actually safe to let those things out and explore them, I will live my whole life not seeing myself the way that you see me, Betsy, the way that you see me, Missy. I won't understand why you guys love me the way you love me unless someone is able to create a space where I'm safe and to lead me and guide me through this journey. And that is not this pose and that pose and this pose and that pose and then my pricing structure and then my product offerings. That's not what this is. That's not what we're doing. For you guys, is that an important thing for you guys? Like that understanding that you're actually going to show someone things about themselves that they've never seen before?
Yeah, my clients will say to me constantly, I just want to show up for myself like I have for my husband. I want to see what he sees, or I want to see what my partner sees. And they sit there and, they tell you that, and you're like, oh, you want to see your butt? Looks like this. No, okay, I want to see what you look like when you roll over and you're like, hey, babe, how are you? Oh my gosh. Or I want to see, gosh, I just supported one of my friends in court for a domestic violence case. So I put my hair back and looked all, but I want to see you roll out, and I just want to be like,
oh, look at you
see what
all
you
of
look
it.
like. I want to see that moment where he has made you feel the things, and you are sitting there and I want to see that, and I want you to see it, and I want everyone to know how hot you are. I freaking have boudoir pictures that are going in my funeral because you know what? Yeah, I'm nice, but fuck, I'm hot shit. You guys need to just like show up, because like people will know before I die that I'm sexy. but they'll definitely appreciate it at my funeral too. So like that's something I think about a lot with my clients is I want to see how you're represented and I want you to feel beautiful and I want you to feel sexy. And so many of my clients as trauma survivors have never felt sexy in their entire lives or felt safe being sexy either, because you can't show up in a world that's, well, I'll get all distracted here, but they can show up for themselves in our presence and in my studio, and it's safe and they can experience those things and they can be captured that way because of that feeling, because of this technique that you've launched for all of us to enjoy and to learn about. And I think that's super important. I mean, definitely changed my life. I'm not even ordering the same latte anymore. Like, I'm doing the things, I'm ordering clothes that actually look good on me. Like, it's a whole thing. So yes, I completely agree. It's definitely life-changing, super important for our clients to see and feel those things.
And it makes us feel so good. Like, my God, doing that for somebody else, like really the difference between the boudoir sessions you did prior to strip down and the ones that you do after, it's just like you swell up with like all of this pride and like absolute knowledge that you are an incredible artist and you are facilitating a serious difference in the world, not just taking really good ass shots or really good like dark and moody shadow shots and like, slapping a great preset on something. And it's just so much more. And I'm so grateful to both of you for trusting me and allowing me to share it with you. Like, thank you for that. I have more questions I'm supposed to be asking, but I'm a rambler and I love hanging out with you guys.
Can I jump in real fast? Because I want to follow up
Yeah,
what
babe.
you said. I
Yeah.
had the most amazing experience a couple weeks ago because I had a woman come in and her partner came with her to her ordering session. And it was absolutely life-giving to see how interesting it was for her partner to be like, oh no, you need that photo. I know that look, that look. I actually unintentionally had no idea. No, I mean, I totally planned it. Shot that was like one of their preferred like sex positions. I didn't even realize it. And she saw it. She's like, the minute it came up, she was like, whoa. She's like, she would have probably taken every single photo, like she
Yeah.
just was in awe of her being able to see what she sees in such an authentic way. Like it was so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing to be able to do this for our clients. On that topic, I know that some people are like, well, is this really worth the investment? Like, is it going to change my work so much that I'm going to be making more money? I haven't spoken with either one of you guys about what kind of sales are happening or if your sales have gone up. But I'm curious. Have your sales gone up? Are you making more money since taking strip down? Because this is not a business course per se. This is really like we all take a very deep inner journey into becoming the best people that we can be, the best artists that we can be, knowing and understanding the science of body language, um, how to create those safe places, how to remove shame, how to let go of our shit so that we can fully show up for our clients as the very best version of ourselves and really be armed with like tools and skills so that we can execute with precision and intention every single freaking time. Like you get all of that as well. But has it changed your sales? That's not something I really like we focus on when we're talking about strip down. We never talk about money. We always talk about the emotional part of it. So I'm curious if either one of you have anything to say about that.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think it's really about how people are feeling about their purchase also. It's so not transactional. It's just like, I mean, my therapist has always said, like, what you do is like boudoir therapy, like, or therapeutic boudoir, however you want to arrange the word. Same thing though. I mean, people are they're so connected with their photos. Like, how could they not want them?
So you have seen an increase in sales then, Betsy?
Definitely, definitely. Sorry,
So
that was a long answer to it, but yeah.
are you selling like more full catalogs and things like that because people don't want to let go of images now?
Yeah, people have a harder time. Yeah, definitely. They have a harder time narrowing those down because everyone is different too. This isn't like rinse and repeat in three different outfits. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh my gosh, but that one's a little bit different. Like it's like, oh, okay. And I think like also that freedom of feeling like I'm creating art with someone, of someone, is just so damn rewarding. And they're seeing that, like they're seeing themselves as artwork. And I'm creating more artistic shots and more emotional shots or emotive shots. Like it's so incredible.
So I will also say that my sales have increased. I haven't sold anything less than my top collection in small town Indiana since I've done the course. All my clients, I have them on prepay, but they will usually go for my middle collection. And once I see their images, they're already like, shit, I got to get them all. And I need to rework my pricing because once you've sold your top package so many times, you need to drop off and make higher packages. So I actually need to, because of this, I need to redo my pricing. And I didn't know until this year that Miller's actually limits the amount of pages on the books that I'm buying, because I was like, hey, put as many images as you want in here, go for it, you'll never top it out. And I have Fundy, so we just designed the album. I have shot and sold so many things. I had to go in and I did it with Fundy, and then I went to order it when I got home, and I was like, so we went over a few pages. We're gonna have to redesign your album now, and we can take out images or as many as you can put in 50 spreads is great, because I've had so many people connect with their images so much that they've had to do that. So I definitely need to completely redo my pricing and everything, because they're selling like hotcakes. So I will say, if you do have any problems with anything like that, I know Denise has always been just so great about helping people and being there for everyone. And it's more like hands-on and like troubleshooting, well, what's going wrong here? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And you've always been so good with like connecting the clients on, making that connection with their images, that I can't see any way that you wouldn't make any kind of jump in sales. Like mine I'm getting more and more clients saying you've given them so much more of an experience. And, they went to you the first 4 years ago, and then they came back, because I have clients that come back, which shocked me at first. Because I was like, oh, boudoir is once in a lifetime thing. No, my clients come back sometimes. And now they're like, oh my gosh, you're just so much different. And I love they have said body language. I love what you've captured in my sessions. So yeah, I know that, that's definitely been a huge thing for me. If I had to redesign someone's album because I didn't even know how many pages were in it. yeah. Yeah.
With all of that,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to add to what Missy said. And I think like when I have, like, I feel this constant push and pull because our brain is a big muscle, right? That we have to retrain. So sometimes I notice, like, if I'm not getting a client there, or I'm not getting the images that I want for them, it's probably because I'm slipping into old habits, and I go back in and watch videos again from the course, because it's like,
yeah,
let's reinstitute that again, solidify that. I was missing a step somewhere in there.
it really is about that neuroplasticity and laying down those neural pathways so that the synapses can fire and it becomes habit. So in typical Denise form, like you guys, I'm always an open book and I'm super honest and like transparent about everything. While we were talking about money, someone actually put in the comments and they said, and I want to discuss this because I think it's important. Someone said, I was so in love with what I learned from this course. My sales have not increased. In fact, my business is dead. Nothing. I'm so sad. I don't know who you are, user, because it doesn't tell me, but I'm going to be going into the comments after this and I'm going to be reaching out to you in typical Denise form and see if I can point you in other directions that will actually help you with the business side of your business and see if we can't figure out what the hell is going on and how to get you where you are. And I'm sorry that that's the place that you're in, but as you all know, we're family and it's tribe. And so I will most definitely be reaching out to you. Um, I think overwhelmingly what we see within the course is that sales jump because we're creating so much more variety with like emotive states, and clients are so emotionally attached to their work, um, that we do just sell more. I've heard that anecdotally from students, but I've never actually asked anybody that. So I appreciate you guys being open and transparent about that. And for the person in the comments who is struggling, I also appreciate you being open and honest about that. And we as a tribe are going to rally around you and see what we can do to support you. Someone's asked if my team does business coaching. We do not. We focus on the art of this. There are a million and one business classes out there that they're better at business than I am. What I'm good at is teaching you how to be the artist that you're meant to be by giving you the skills and the tools that you need to take your work to the next level. And I guess there is a business component in that because you'll stand out from your competition and you'll create sessions for your clients that they need to buy. But insofar as like business coaching, there are people who do that way better than Denise Birdsong does. I'm going to stick to what I'm good at. If you guys ever see me selling a business course, you will know I will have jumped the shark and someone's going to need to take me aside and spank me because that's not my strength. That's just, it's not. I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's not my strength. And yes, high rollers has done really well for a lot of people. And I think that that's a good place to go if you're having trouble. So, yeah. Okay, girls, thank you for sharing that. Let me get through these couple of questions and then we'll just kind of have like a free for all. So, Missy, what was your biggest worry about joining Strip Down? And then Betsy, I'm going to ask you the same thing.
This kind of, I suck at this question because I had heard the whispers of the things that you were bringing to the community, to the industry for a few years. And as soon as I had heard the people that I had heard speaking about you, and I've seen their work and I've seen, what you've done to open that for them, I didn't need any kind of reassurance. I had zero worries. I could see a difference in their work being much more emotional. I connected with it much more because of that. So I'm terrible at this question because I had zero concerns and I had zero worries. I didn't even need to meet you. I already knew you. I was like, nah, she's good. I got her. So that,
Well, can I ask you who are these heavy hitters that you were seeing? I know, like off the top of my head, we've got Terry Ledgerwood, we've got Jessica Ray, we've got Lysandra, we've got Jennifer Williams, we've got Erin Michelle, we've got Cara Marie.
I will say Terry and Lindsay were the biggest ones for me, for sure.
Okay.
And had met them and known how authentic they are, and just I knew they wouldn't sell me any bullshit. So I've seen their work for years and seen them post, and I really felt like, if there was anyone even just whispering about you like that, then yes, I would, because it wasn't something that I heard a ton about. And I think it's because when I did finally hear back about you, it was like, hey, we're opening this back up again, but it had been kind of off the market for a few years. And I just knew, I remember reaching out to you and being like, you don't understand. I have to have this course. This is a bucket list thing for me. I need this course now, please. I don't care what I have to do. I have 2 kidneys, like, yes. And it was just one of those things that it was already on my list as soon as I heard them start talking about it. And I've heard so many people over the years just mention you whenever they were like, oh, I just don't know what to do anymore. I just feel kind of in a rut and I'm kind of stuck. And that was something that I knew right away that I just had to do as soon as it opened up again. So I'm very glad that it did. And I'm honored to be a part of it.
No, I'm so happy to have you. I love you so much. And I love your tipsy chats.
Oh gosh. 10 more years.
Okay, Betsy, how about you?
I will say I did have some reservations for a couple of legitimate reasons. I had moved across the country. I'm in a totally new market after leaving my studio that I had for like a dozen years in San Diego, and I end up, I'm in Michigan and I'm restarting. I'm not making any money because I'm in the middle of COVID still. And also, like, I was feeling a lot of like, I was kind of getting my own way about stop, start, or start, stop. And I was like, gosh, I really don't have the money for this right now. Do I want to do this? And I was like, I need something that is gonna motivate me, like, also like bring that motivation up, because I had something to accomplish with going through classes and everything, and get excited about putting myself out there and eliminate or work at eliminating the imposter syndrome, of course.
Oh, yes.
Right? The dark passenger. But I really needed something like that. And then also, I've always been an education person, and I've always invested in it, and I've also gotten burned in that too. So, but I jumped into this. I like the first time I watched your like kind of one of something like this that we got to see like you talk before I signed up for the class. I was like crying. I'm like bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, I need this in my life. And it was in my business, but it was in my life also. And you like pulled me right here, where I was like, I got to listen to this. So I jumped.
Yeah.
And I did all the homework.
I know, good girl. You did so good. You did so good. And it shows. Like, we're going to see their before and after work, and it absolutely shows. So if you were speaking to students who were concerned about money, or who were concerned about whether or not this is like, your typical educational snake oil, or if I'm a typical educator who's going to drop stuff and leave it in their lap, or what kind of support they get, or if it is truly going to make a difference, like any of those things. If you were talking to incoming students who had reservations about doing this, I know, Missy, you're just like, just fucking do it. Like,
boss up. Don't be a little bitch. We all know you want to do it. Do it. Like, just do it. Like, I can't Shia LaBeouf it anymore. Do it. But I mean, that's my thing is I had just bought my dream studio, and I was so excited. And then I'm like, oh gosh, it's just so monotonous. So I keep saying that word, but it really did. It changed the way I looked at my studio. I am creating more sets in there, and I can see like a vision for it now. It cleared the fog for my brain creatively. And yeah, it helped me connect with my clients so much better on, just being in my studio, which again, when you're in the same place every single day creating, it can get so blah. So yeah, I completely think that, as far as reservations goes, if you don't know if it's going to be worth it, I think it's definitely worth it. Not just as a business expense, like, personally, it's great. It's just a really great write-off, but personally, it's wonderful. It, like I said, I'm wearing different clothes. I'm ordering different drinks. I'm not even the same person anymore. I'm the person that I've always wanted to be. So is that worth it?
yeah. And that is so key to showing up for your clients. Like, when we can be the very best versions of ourselves. And this is a lot of what I teach you guys. We go through art history. We go through all of the science of what we're doing. We go through why this is important. We go through why self-care is important. We go through why feeling all of these feelings ourselves is so incredibly important. And then we get to the part where we go through practical application. But I really take you guys through so much of like letting go of the shit that's holding us back and leaning into learning new ways, that on the other side of it, we really do become better for ourselves, which enables us to be better for everybody else in our lives, not just our clients, but also for ourselves. Like, it's a good thing. Betsy, if you were to talk to students who are like, oh, I can't afford it, or this is expensive, I don't know if it's going to be worth it, or I'm too shy to do this, or any of that kind of stuff, what would you tell them?
Oh my gosh. I would also say just fucking do it. But, I'll just use like real life example here. First of all, I think everything you just said about the self-care and like showing up like you're basically through this course, you're giving us what we are giving our clients or what we're preaching to our clients, and we're actually doing the talk and doing the walk or whatever, however you say. But I think that's so important because we're leading by example, and our clients see that.
Yeah,
They see it.
I have to put a pin in you for one quick second. I teach you guys this in class over and over and over and over again. I've said this so many times, it's insane. We cannot expect our clients to give us anything that we are unable to give them. If you can't give it to them, you're never going to be able to get it from them. So part of the journey in Strip Down is learning how to let go and be able to give those parts of yourself to someone so that you can get it from them. And you said something very interesting earlier, Betsy, that when you go into your studio, it's not about the poses that you have in the back of your head. It is about, okay, what are we going to create together today? I think a lot of us view our work as what it is we're going to do, and we forget the second part of the equation is actually our client. And Betsy, if I were to come into a session and shoot you, you and I would have to sit down and talk about what it is you want to explore, what the challenges you've had in your life, the areas where you're not feeling it, the areas where you're feeling really strong. And together, we would collaborate and create this beautiful art for you. Your session would be a million times different than the session I did for Missy. I
Exactly.
would sit down with Missy and have the same conversation, the same exploration. I would have to create a different kind of safety for her, a completely different environment for her. I would have to meet her where she was. I would have to be able to give her what it was that she needed, like I would have to give you what you needed. And Missy and I would collaborate and create this art. It's our job to lead, and it's our job to take the beautiful pictures, but nobody ever forget, this is not just your work. This is a collaboration between you and your client, and if you don't know how to collaborate with them, and if you don't know how to lead them through the process, you've lost that whole part of it. You've lost the single most important part of it.
Absolutely. The way that I'm connecting with my clients and stuff is just unreal. Cause like when I'm showing them photos of themselves, it's not just like insert person here. they're
Yeah.
legitimately seeing themselves in those photos. I forgot what the beginning of my question was. I lost track because I was so engaged with what you're talking about.
Sorry, I forgot where I put that.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Sorry about that. I apologize.
Yeah. We'll come around to something else. I'm sure.
Okay. So I don't think I need to ask this question. Where are you now, and how has Strip Down helped you? I think we've kind of already covered that, unless you want to speak to it, Betsy.
I think that actually will tie in with what just came back into my brain.
Okay.
But it is the same thing. So I think I was going to say a real life example is I was in a new market. Like nobody knows who I am, or nobody knew who I was in Kalamazoo, right? I moved across the country, 2,200 miles, which is also a big, let's be real, as artists, it's kind of an ego blow when everybody knows who you are in one place and then you pick up and move and change it all, right?
Yeah.
But I started running. I have people going like, how do you get what you get with people? I don't understand. Like they're like, there's just something different about your photos. They can't pinpoint it, right? And also I start running ads and my photos stand out because they are that different, because they're unique to every single person who walks into my studio.
Yeah.
And the result of that is that, I ran a bunch of ads in August and I booked up like the rest of the year. Cause like people are reacting to the photos because they're like, that's just real. I see that person. I feel like I know that person. I could be that person. And it's just so different than showing them static poses that we keep doing over and over and over again that, could be anyone. Yeah, it could be anyone.
Right? It's just, yeah, let's all do it. Let's all do it.
Wait. Oh, wait, no, I'm too programmed with.
Yeah, that was you're both a little bit too programmed. You guys are giving emotion. You're not flat. Flat is this. There we go. There we go. Bad hands. Let's do all the bad hands. And we learn how to overcome all of those things. And this is not to make light of the situation that boudoir photographers are in. Man, I know you guys care. You would not have gotten into this genre if you didn't care. It's just that there has not been education around this until I brought it into the industry. And quite frankly, I didn't bring it into the industry because no one was recognizing my work. I had the same experience as you, Betsy. People were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. What are you doing? Aren't you doing the same thing I'm doing? Like, I'm just shooting over here. What's your problem?" And it took me a while to figure out what it was that I was doing differently. And then when I figured it out, I was like, "Oh my God, this is so different than what everybody else is doing. I got to get it out there because it's gold." It's like I can actually change the way that this genre operates and turn it into a high art. We don't have to be, I mean, so many other educators who are going to remain unnamed have poo-pooed our genre for so long as objectification and like not classy and crass and all of this kind of stuff. And man, F to the word on that, because there should be no shame around who we are and our femininity and our masculinity and our vulnerability and our desire and our longing and our sexuality and all of the things that make us beautiful human beings. Who are you to tell me that that's crass and not okay? It is perfectly fine. If it's not something that you don't want to shoot as an educator or as a photographer, then don't shoot it. But don't tell me it's wrong, because there is nothing wrong. It is actually one of the most beautiful things in the whole world. And I will legit like fisticuffs with anybody who wants to like argue that with me. Like, no, it is the most beautiful thing about us are those like incredibly like vulnerable, delicate, intricate things that are inside of us. That humanity that's in us is so incredible. I think people get confused and they think it's just the physicality. And then there's a bunch of objectification. And that definitely can happen in the genre at large. But when you're using this methodology, that is not what it's about. There is no shame in this. There is nothing but exploration and beauty and truth and open-heartedness and art. And we get to be artists. We don't have to like trepidatiously say, "Oh, I'm a photographer." Nah, I'm an artist, and I'm a badass artist, and I make a difference in this world because I bring beautiful things into this world with my subjects. I collaborate with them. So with that, I want to actually, I'm going to share my screen, ladies, and I want to share some of your before and afters. And so, Missy, if it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with you. Okay. And so I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to have you talk us through this, Missy.
Okay. Will I see it?
You're going to see it, babe.
Okay. Awesome. Yes.
So this is one of Missy's befores. And I have my thoughts about it. But before I say anything, I want to tell us a little bit about this session and what's going on here and how you were feeling on the other side of the camera.
Okay, so sorry, that is the elementary school ringing. I don't know why, but
do you need to pick it up? Do you want me to mute you?
They stayed home from school today. They're calling to remind me about a fundraiser.
Okay.
Which I'm going in 30 minutes. Anyway, so not in 30 minutes, sorry. It opens in 30. Anyway, so this client came to me and we were really hard to connect in the first place just because she had a lot of past trauma to deal with. I'm going to answer and hang up. Where she had actually lost a child. And I can relate in some ways because I actually volunteer for Now Laying Down to Sleep. but it had affected her so much emotionally, spiritually, mentally, everything. So it was already really hard to connect with her. She's a much different vibe than me, as far as like, she likes makeup and she likes being completely out there and different. And I'm just very, and at the time I was more very reserved and kind of used my masculine side to hide behind me being a woman, as kind of a way to protect myself from past trauma. And I didn't ever want to wear dresses or heels or makeup or anything to be anything that stood out. And she's the opposite. Obviously, she just stands out. You got that hair, you got that look. And so we did struggle to connect at first, but she's actually become a really good friend over a long time. But that was just one thing that I would try to pull the thing that she was going for in her images, and I couldn't get there. I couldn't give her that vulnerability and that desire. And she was much more I don't want to say sexual, but much more open about her sexuality. And I just wasn't able to get there. And it was something that I've always struggled with, hide your body, and, don't wear makeup, and don't be loud and proud and bright. And after I had this session, it was funny. I had like so many women that came to me with multicolored hair. But yeah, so that was just one thing that I felt like it was, yeah, I was kind of disappointed in the session. And yeah, she liked it, and she came back and actually booked another when she saw my work with Stripped Down. I had a girl that had a bunch of multicolored hair, and she was like, "Oh, I love that so much." And I was like, "Yes, let's do this." And we did like something with like a really crazy Get Weird With It backdrop, where it was like a peacock and the girl had like peacock hair. And so yeah, I think that's really kind of spoken more and opened me up more to people who aren't just like me, and who express themselves more sexually, and also just more vocally and in other ways, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing in the image, and then Betsy, if you have anything you want to chime in with, and people, just so that you know, Missy is perfectly fine with me giving her CC, so this isn't unwarranted. She's used to this. She's been in class with me, and all of my CC is always done from a place of kindness and open-heartedness, and the desire for growth. So what I'm seeing in this is that you were nervous on the other side of the camera, because she's looking like a deer in the headlights. We've got her hands posed in a way that's holding a lot of tension. They're really unnatural. And that makes me, as a viewer looking at it, a bit uncomfortable. And the fact that her mouth is closed, like instantly when I saw that picture, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and I held my own breath, right? Like, she's not relaxing. And those shoulders are up just a little bit, which is also making me a little bit tense. And I don't know what the hell she's thinking, except for I'm a little uncomfortable. And that is coming from you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So she's not a professional model. She's not an actress. She's not a dancer. She's not been trained in how to emote. And the person who is supposed to get her to emote, to show her what's on the inside, is us, right? And when we don't have the skills to do that, the type of pictures we get are these, where she's a beautiful girl and she looks pretty, but I don't know anything about her other than the fact that she looks a little uncomfortable.
I
That's
see
all.
her. Yeah, I see her reacting with the camera, or interacting with the camera,
Yeah.
more than you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So Missy went from this to, okay. Okay. That's what I'm talking about right there. That is full of emotion. That is full of, you've got a bleed going on there with your emotions, right? We've got confidence and we've got joy. We're like pulling them all together. We've got femininity, we've got masculinity, we've got strength, we've got flirtiness, we've got, like, it's beautiful. It's full of all of the emotions. The difference between the two is freaking bananas, woman. And I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of you. Let's move. Oh, no, Denise. Nope. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's get back on track.
That was huge for her, by the way, in her session.
Was it?
She was raised very, and I'm not bashing any religion here, but she was raised very strict Baptist, and she was not allowed to express herself sexually, express her femininity. All kind dancing was really not, allowed. All kinds of things were, and it's not just, the church that she felt that from. She said she felt surrounded in her family and friends that she had to play a part and be a certain person and be a certain way. And she wasn't allowed to express herself. In these past few years, she's been trying to tiptoe into that. And she is just like, I love the pieces that she brought. And then I pulled some from my closet as well. But I said, you know what? I want to play on this masculine, which is so funny. You said that masculine, feminine thing. I said, your hair is screaming, I'm fire. And I said, I want to scream at that vulnerability too. So that's why when we opened up this neck here and really gave her that, yeah.
And so we've got another emotional bleed going on here. For those of you who are like, what are you talking about, Denise? This is when once we learn the emotions and we learn the body language and we learn how to elicit them, we can then kind of like pull them together and create even more variety with bleeds. And this is what we're doing here. And again, night and day, she's breathing through her mouth. It feels relaxed. I see all of the femininity and vulnerability in this openness, but I also see like, I'm here for you to see me. I'm present. I'm here. And it's beautiful. This is another stellar example. This is a gorgeous photo. I'm so proud of you. It's stupid. I'm just like these before and afters are just dum-dums. I mean, it's just bananas how good it is. I'm so proud of you. And
I love how much she was like owning her space in the world. That's what I saw in that photo, and I just love it.
Yeah. And this one, the vulnerability and the longing in this one is just gorgeous. That light is gorgeous too. This wardrobe like really lends itself very well to like the emotional state that you were getting to with this also. This is another gorgeous photo. You know how much I love seeing those open wrists. So pretty. It's just beautiful. And again, it's night and day, Missy. Night and day. Oh, stop it. Oh my God. Girl, stop it. This is dope. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. Love what you've done with her nipples.
I was just like, let's just blur it a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, but look at that arch in her back and that chin up and that breath out and that like pleasure in that photo is like palpable. It's just absolutely beautiful. That is stunning. And just such a far cry from where you started, babe. I hope that you're really proud of yourself. You better be really, really proud of yourself.
I super love, this was just yesterday. I love what we created together. She bought my highest collection again. So yes.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt you. I just got a text message from our babysitter for the baby, and she needs me to come right away.
That's fine. It's
so
totally okay. It's totally okay. It's totally okay. We've appreciated having you. I'm going to go through the rest of your images though, and you can watch them later.
Go for it. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate this, and I apologize so much for leaving.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Buzz me later and let me know how the baby's doing, okay?
Yes, it's her baby that she needs me to. It's a long story, but thank you so much.
Okay. Buzz me later anyways.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
Okay, so we're going to go through, again, like just night and day, these images are. From where she started to where she is now is incredible. Oh my God, stop it. Right? All the feels. Yeah. It's just beautiful. It's so good. Okay, Betsy, you're up, woman. Are you ready? Oh, you're muted, babe.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
There we go. Okay, now I got you back. Good. Okay, so we're going to move into Betsy's before image. You ready, woman?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So tell me what was going on with you in this photo.
I distinctly remember, this is one of my first sessions that I did once I moved.
Mm-hmm.
I distinctly remember, it's palpable, how fucking nervous I was. All the things that were running through my head, like, what am I going to do next? Okay, how does that pose work? Is that going to work for her? Like, all those things that we get like stuck in our head, like that works for a certain person, and that doesn't work for another, and all this BS.
Yeah.
And just the total lack of confidence, really, and of course, that bleeds onto our clients too, as you said.
So I see that bleeding into her. We've got hands doing things that hands wouldn't normally do. It looks like you're trying really hard to pose her as opposed to show her,
Yeah,
is
I
what I
agree with that.
feel when I see this photo. The smile feels just a teeny bit tense to me. So I'm assuming she's just a little bit nervous. But my overall takeaway from this is that you're really focused on posing her instead of showing her. And when we start showing our clients, the poses kind of come.
Yeah.
They really kind of come. And you are a really good example of that. So we are going to move into your after photos. I had to create 2 folders because there was so many. We're going to go with the first folder.
I was so eager to share with you.
And I am so glad that you did. But when we actually start to show our clients, the poses just come. This is phenomenal. Like, this is just, wow, Betsy, like, take my breath away kind of stuff. Like, this is art, babe. This is next level. This is next level. This
Thank
is
you.
such a beautiful emotive state. And this, oh my, what? Oh my God. So beautiful. So incredibly gorgeous.
Thank you.
And I actually happened to be by your side when you were taking that, so I know where
Yeah.
you were with that, and it was in a place of confidence, in a place of directing your client to show her the beautiful things about her, and man, did it work.
And
Man, did it work. Did it work? Did it work? There is no amount of her being unsure. There is no amount of her feeling shameful about who she is. There's not an ounce of anything but embracing who she is. And it's this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is it right here. You're doing it.
and I feel like some of these being able to show, like, because we're showing before we're playing that reflection game, because it's got feels to it and it's like a dance. It's totally different than somebody feeling like all awkward, like, oh my gosh, I have to get this finger here and that and that and that and that, right? It's like just
So
sink into it, and it's like
yeah.
they feel it.
So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I'm just going to bring you and I back up.
Okay.
So what Betsy is talking about when she says we're doing mirroring or we're playing that dance with the strip down methodology, we don't tell our clients to get into a pose. We actually emote what it is that we want from them. So, Betsy, being a stripped down student, I don't know how comfortable you are with this. If you're not, you can tell me hell no, Denise. But do you want to coach me into something really quick so that we can show people who maybe don't know what the hell this dance is or what mirroring each other is? Do you
Yeah,
want
sure.
to coach me into an emotive state?
By the way, no one prepared me
See?
for this, so we're just gonna go. Not intimidating at all. Okay, so Denise, we're just gonna start with taking a couple big breaths. Let it out through your mouth, and just let your head sink into it.
I'm feeling better already.
Right. Oh, right. We're breathing.
Yeah.
So from there, I want you to just like bring the shoulders up and feel that breath and let it just kind of fill you. And then you're just going to sink into that and feel that release. Once you do that again, and this time I want you to feel like all of this, like I want you to try to trace the line of your face and just feel it, right? So we're just going to get that breath going and release it. Now dip your chin and come up. Just nice, confident look up towards me. Just own that space. Good. Bring a little fire into it. Give me a little flirty. Gorgeous. I love it. Love it.
And this is the dance that we're talking about. I can do this without Betsy coaching me because it's my methodology. And, I was a model and I was a dancer, so I have a lot of experience with this. But consumers who come into our studio who are like scared to death and they don't have any idea what's going on. And you're like, okay, so go ahead and put your hand in your hair and like bring your chin around and like, look at me flirty. They're like,
we're putting too much pressure on them, right? Like
way too much pressure on them. Way too much. Can I coach you, Mama?
Please.
What is your biggest struggle bus emotion?
Ooh, probably I'd say the desire, like that one. And you'd think that would be so natural. I know, but a little too much of the open mouth catching flies thing. So yeah.
Okay. So you ready to get dirty?
Mm-hmm, I am.
Okay. So I want you to push your chair back a little bit. Okay. So we're going to push that chair back. And we're going to start by just bringing our hands to our jawline. And you're going to breathe with me, babe. And I want you to keep your eyes on me. And I just want you to follow me, okay? So. And down. And just stay in the moment with me. Just keep watching. Just follow what I'm doing. Your hands into your hair. Let's breathe again. Hands here. Yep. And back down. And roll those shoulders back and bring those arms down your sides. And lengthen that body and breathe. Let go of that smile. Relax your face. Breathe into it. Now I want you to take the arm that's closest to me on camera and bring it out to your knee and lengthen it. And I want you to bring that chin down. Eyes stay with me. And I want you to look at me like you're coming to get me. Let go of that smile. There's nothing shameful about desire. There's nothing shameful about your sexuality. Let's do it again. And now let's bring that hand right here to the back of our hair and let's do it again. And kind of pull at your own hair. And chin down real strong to me. And that, folks, is reaching for desire. Good job. How did it feel?
Felt good.
All of you Facebook people in here, are you guys doing it with us? And how does it feel? Like, how does it feel watching it? And if you tried it with us, how does it feel with us? I'm curious to see what you guys think. This pose right here that I'm gonna put the screen back up. Let's get that screen going. Share. Turn it on. This emotion, this. It's just like, oh my God. Show me that you're willing to let me in and that it's safe to be in there. It's just, you know how I feel about this emotion, Betsy.
Oh, I know. It's become my baby. But this is what I was showing right after I came to the in-person workshop, and people they were telling me like, oh, but this, and that's how the people react to it. They're like, oh.
and the noises they make and the vocal intonations when they're talking about it, right? It
Yeah.
all ties back to the subconscious, guys, and that's what we teach you in Strip Down. I teach you all of the science behind this, and you have wonderful peers like Betsy who are well on their ways to being masters at this, who are going to be in class with you. This, shut the front door. Like, what? Are you kidding me right now? This is like Lillian Bassman vibes for me. This is like working with absolute precision and intention to capture all of the entangled femininity within her. Just all of that beautiful, just gorgeous femininity and softness and vulnerability. And it's just,
Thank you.
I'm
But
so happy to showcase you. I want the world to see how amazing you are. This is beautiful.
thank you so much. But also like something I learned in the course, like, because this isn't a pose. Like I'm talking to somebody in that tone that's going to make them feel like, okay, just surrender to it. Surrender to yourself, really, right? And
It's
just
like
like,
collapse that collarbone in and lengthen your shoulder, lengthen your neck, and chin comes down. And you're safe. It's okay. You're beautiful. And just take a big, deep breath. You're beautiful just as you are. And they're able to let all that go. And you're right. It's not a pose, it's a who they fucking are. And it's bananas. It's so beautiful. Oh, I love you, man. So good. This, all of the joy and happiness. This is just beautiful. Like, I know that when you were calling, you were looking at these and like smiling from ear to ear as you were like editing these or culling through them because they're just so gorgeous. And we don't see ourselves like that so often. We don't have the pleasure of actually seeing ourselves being so joyful and so beautiful. And it's just, I'm so proud of you. These are so different than
thank you.
what you were creating. These are fantastic. And she is amazing.
And she's
Yes.
I know. That one makes me so happy.
Yes. Me too. Me too.
I call it's like Sunday morning, like rolling over and like, let's sleep
Yes.
in and just stay in bed all day.
God knows how I love those Sunday morning vibes. It's so playful and it's so fun and it's so beautiful. And again, it's not a pose. It's a moment that you shared with her where you got to show her the beautiful things that are inside of her. That's what we learn how to do in Strip Down. This is so good, babe. This is so
Thank you.
good.
Well, and those pictures of her smiling and being joyful and joyous. I mean, she shares these photos all the time, and she actually has been photographed like quite a bit.
Mhm.
And she shared the smiling, laughing photos a couple days ago, and she's like, "I always hated my dimples and my smile, but now I'm looking at myself differently." Like this is coming from her. That's not me making it up. Like,
Yeah. And I think it's important to note that, and the reason I chose to put this image in there as well is because it is really interesting. Like the light that you have going on it and the different things that you have going on it are beautiful. And Strip Down isn't to say that you shouldn't show the beautiful aspects of a woman's body as well. We want that. Obviously, our clients want that too, but that's not everything. But I do want you to see that we can create it in beautiful ways also.
and that's sometimes, I mean, that's like, your lover gets up to go to the bathroom and they come back in and that's how they see you. I mean, that's how my clients see it.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. And this one too, just gorgeous. Like the body language in these, and stop with this smile and all of this fun flirtiness. It's so good. As a viewer of art, this is what draws me in. I see that and I smile. My mirror neurons are lighting up. I'm like lit up and on fire. And I like, oh, I want to be next to her. I want to be around her. I want to be with her. Like, I want to be her. I want you to take my picture and I want to be her. Like, this is beautiful because it makes me feel, not just because it's a pretty picture. You can Photoshop, body parts and all of that kind of stuff all you want. You can throw presets on everything as much as you want. You can't fake. You can't fake the body language and the true emotions.
Well, and that's a person, she's a person who's recovering from some pretty serious grief in her life. And she's like, we talked about what are your goals? Like, what do you want to see reflected back to you?
Mhm.
Like, let's lead with that. Like, she needed to see that in herself.
This is sublime.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely sublime. I look at this photo and I'm just like, it kind of knocks the wind out of me a little bit. It's just so peaceful and so sublime. And there's this hope for beautiful things in it. Do you feel that?
I love that. I think, yeah. And you nailed it. Like, she had just been photographed. She was getting married. She had just been photographed. Didn't love her engagement photos, the way they made her feel about her body and where she's at right now. And she walked away from this just feeling like totally different about her curves and her body and her relationship with it and her sensuality too, like,
Yeah.
and there is that, like, a little glimpse of optimism, right? Like I
There
see it.
is hope in
Yeah,
there.
that's what it was. Yeah.
There's beautiful hope for like these gorgeous things that are in front of her. This is what makes it high art, babe. This is exactly what makes it high art. It's not a pose. It's not a shot. It's something when I see it, I instantly connect with it. And I'm in that moment with her, and it takes me out of my own reality and it brings me into hers.
Mm.
And thank you for creating such a beautiful place for me to be in. It's amazing.
Thanks for helping me do that.
You're welcome. These were absolutely stunning. Betsy gave us a lot more than that, but we're probably going to do a part 2 with Betsy. I want you back on for sure.
Awesome.
So I'm going to quit sharing my screen really quick. So it's just me and you, mama. And I just want to make sure that I didn't miss any additional questions. I don't think I did, but I just want to make sure. If you have one piece of advice for someone who's considering joining Strip Down, what would it be? Well, like, I don't know. One of the things I thought too is maybe reach out to past students if you're concerned. If it's a money concern, think about it like this. This is one session. Like, are you really saving money by not taking the class, or are you actually losing money by not taking the class because you don't get your sales up? But what would your advice be?
Get out of your own way and do it. Because, okay, let's put it in perspective. If you're charging what you're worth, hopefully you're going to book one session from the cost of this course and have it already paid for. There's no way in hell I'd be creating what I'm creating right now without it. I wouldn't be the person I am right now without it. I mean, it really changed how I'm going about my life and my art, and just being so comfortable in that position of being like, I'm an artist and own it, and know that I can do that for my clients consistently is just such a gift, because they know, even though they don't know exactly what they're going to get when they get out of it, right? Because it's different for everybody. And, we're reflecting people back to themselves, but they know that they're going to get something like that, if they invest in themselves like that. So,
yeah. So Betsy has decided to invest in herself again this year, and she will be taking the Strip Down course with us again this year. So for those of you who have signed up for Strip Down, feel free to friend her. Where can we follow you, babe? Where can we watch you thrive and blossom and grow?
You're so sweet. I'm Betsy McCue Pictures, BETSYMCCUE Pictures.
Okay.
And that's my handle on Instagram. That's my URL. That's my Facebook business page, all that good stuff. Okay, I need to update my website with all of my amazing photos because that have happened since Stripped Down, because I just want to share them with the world, because and I get so excited about having a new person come into my life that I get to share this with.
I'm going to ask Lee really quick if you can. Can you, Lee, can you put her, thanks, Lee. I appreciate that. She just did it for us. Awesome.
It's TS. It's BETS. I get it all the time.
If we can switch that up, Lee, it's
Thank you.
BETSY. Lee's such a superstar. Everybody, like, big round of applause for Lee too. She's amazing. Thank you. So Betsy will be in class with us again for our Strip Down 2022 course. So you are going to have someone that is going to be on this journey with you who's done it before. So I don't want you guys to feel alone. I am the most hands-on instructor in the history of instructors in photography education. Like, I'm all in, guys. But you also build an incredible tribe with all of your classmates. And so just know that Betsy will be in there with you, and she'll be working to continue to grow. And she will be good support as well. Quick, just personal question, Betsy. Are you going to be coming back for another in-person? I know we talked about doing the yearly thing, but are you coming back for that?
You know it. I already emailed you last week, and I saw a date that was coming up. I'm like, wait, can I get in on that?
Oh, I didn't see
you're like,
that
we're all
email.
booked up, and I was like, wait, can I please let me back?
Yes, I want you back.
Oh, please. The in-person was just absolutely life-changing. It was incredible. It brought so much of the class like home, because we learned so much. I felt so jam-packed with information, and just like I know myself, and I know I can get in that like loop where I can't get like, I'm just like, okay, where do I start with this? Like, how do I implement? And then there are too many things. Like, it just helped solidified it so much for me. It was incredible. And you are such an amazing teacher who really just gives from the heart, and I've never had an instructor that's been as accessible and, just engaged with all of us. It was incredible.
Oh, thank you, babe. I know that a lot of people, I keep hearing from people, I just want to take the in-person, or do I need to take the in-person and the online? And my answer to all of you, and I think Betsy is probably going to mirror this, there's no way that I can teach you everything that I teach you in the 12-week intensive course in a 2-day workshop. And if you show up at that 2-day workshop without having the foundation of the 12-week online class, it's a waste of your money. So I have stopped offering them. I mean, it's a way for me to make more money. If I just opened them up and let everybody come into those, I'd make a ton of money off of it. But I feel like I would just be taking people's money and not giving them value. So the only way to take an in-person is to actually complete the online course first, because I need to know that you have a solid foundation, and you actually have to graduate the course. You can't just take it. You have to graduate it, which you will do. We will get you through it. Don't worry. It's not that hard to graduate it. And then you can come in and you can take the in-person. And I think the two together is probably, that is absolutely the way to do it.
Definitely. I think I would say like all of that foundation that we got I actually have another friend who was in the course, and she just got really busy, and she's like, give me the shortcut version. I'm like, there's no shortcut version. Like, you have to do the work, but it's so worth it. I grew every single time I got into a lesson. I watched everything twice. I wanted to go back and just absorb it all. We're learning about fine art in different eras, and just so many things, vulnerability, and all of these things that just bring it all together. And then to feel it in your bones and feel it in your body and do at the workshop, I definitely recommend the two of them together.
Yeah, and it's not a typical workshop. It is not a shootout. People are not shooting over each other's shoulders. It is incredibly controlled. The models do not model for you. You have to coach and direct them. And every single person has one-on-one time working with me on the emotions that they struggle with the most. So it's pretty intensive. But it is amazing. All I can tell you guys is, if you want to be brilliant like Betsy, sign up for the course.
Just do it.
Yeah. That's all I can say.
No brainer.
And you are sweetheart, your transformation is like sick. So we're going to be putting these pictures up in the group so that you can see Betsy's before and after within the next couple of days. And Betsy, I'm probably going to be bringing you back for part 2 because we have more beautiful images to share that I want to get out in the world. I want to thank you so much for your time, sweetheart. And I want to thank everybody who came and joined us so much for their time. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. And I'll be back on Friday with some more student features that we're going to be going through before and after so that you guys can actually see. And if you guys have questions beforehand, let us know and we'll try and answer them. And feel free if you have questions while we're doing this or even after, jump in there, tag myself, tag Betsy, tag Missy, and we'll answer all of those questions for you. We'll be happy to do that. Woman, you have my heart. You have my soul. I love you. I can't wait to wrap my arms around your neck again and see you. I love you.
Love you too. Thanks so much for having me. It was a blast.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.